Hello YouTube, it's your boy Freelancer Joe here, ready to once again get cracking. I figure I have a much better chance of remembering to say that line if I do it at the beginning, as opposed to trying to be clever and insert it into the dialogue at some point. I am many things. Pleasant to the eye, possessing a dulcet tone that is soothing to the ears, mildly arousing to both men, women, and small animals. Clever isn't one of them, and it helps to pay attention to your limitations. You can always push your limitations every now and then, but you need to remember what they are so that you're not surprised when you stumble and fall, as I often do, which is not always pleasant because it's quite a bit of weight when I fall. Stumble. Did I? Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, so here we are today, once again continuing work for the wonderful folks at the Bella Music School located in picturesque Leonardstown, Maryland. I say picturesque, but I've never been. I may have been for... It's a family-owned business by friends. And I may have gone down there for their wedding vow renewals at some point. It's Southern Maryland, and that's a pretty nice place. But as far as I'm concerned, any place away from an urban environment is a nice place. It's always nice to be able to see the stars at night and not have to listen to the constant, I don't want to say rumblings, but noise associated with road traffic and people staying up too late at night and drinking. Alright, so continuing work. That's right. So let's see if I can remember where I was at. We will do that, and so that you're not distracted by my eroticness. Minimize that, put that thing on. So I did continue working after I left off yesterday. And I honestly don't remember where I left off. Layout adjustments. So I had done the layout adjustments, and that's where I cut off for the video. But what I did later is I've gone ahead and added in, let me see, basic content that I copied over from the existing site, put in placeholder images, updated the font, so pretty much got placeholders and that for everything. And then I also, if you look at the current site, they pretty much they repeat on every page this contact information here. The basics. Most sites use the approach of putting that information down at the footer. So, as you can see, yeah, that's where I did put the information, and their Facebook and Instagram thing. The fonts, not the font, but the color scheme is still off, as well as some of the spacing, and we haven't picked the actual color scheme. But what I'd like to do right now is, so the footer information itself, I mean, this is the sort of thing, this is the sort of thing that is really, really good to have configurable or dynamic. You don't want to have to update it you don't want to have to remember to update it every year, and it's kind of foolish to have to go call a web developer to go ahead and change if your address changes, because that does happen. Businesses move to different locations, they expand and get better shops, larger shops, or maybe they open other locations. Not that I would configure for that. Same deal with phone numbers and contact email addresses. I mean, So what I'm going to do is make that configurable items for now. I say configurable because technically speaking, my configuration file is not so much that. It's a JavaScript file, so Webpack bundles it up and treats it as JavaScript and injects it. So if this was changed, somebody would still have to update this file, but then they'd still have to rebuild it and redeploy it, which is again, you end up calling in somebody technical, and we really don't want to have that happening at some point. But well, that leaves me with two options. One is I mess around with Webpack some more to figure out how to but to actually process a configuration file. Or two, I make this information retrievable from a dynamic storage place. I am actually probably going to go with that eventually. But for now, we will just go ahead and make that bad boy configurable in this particular location. Alright, so what fields do we have? We have I almost think you could pull the year from the browser itself, to be honest. But I really don't want to spend too much time thinking about it. So social is in my configuration block where I generate their buttons. So I'll probably end up moving that under, I'll go ahead and call it the bottom bar for now. It's just really a footer. Bottom bar is kind of a holdover from the fact that it's using, I think it's the bottom bar, bottom navigation, material UI component. Okay. So first thing is we'll do the copyright year, which is 2018 for now, and then I'm assuming would the name of the school change? Would the URL change? Well, right now it's HTTP. And I do have a plan to add SSL to it, so yeah, we will go ahead and make that configurable. I didn't do the finger thing again because, well, I should. Configurable. I'm not trying to pad this video in any way. Site URL, site title, almost certain site label, site. Yeah, we'll go with site label. I end up repeating that. There, okay, that's better. And I'd almost make this an array of options too at some point. I am just adding so many. It's entirely web developer. That would be me. Web developer URL. Lots of cool things I can do with that, but you know, if I want to spend the half an hour showing you that, and we'll get it working first, and then I can go ahead and do it later. Basically, I would just make this. I want to see it. It's like how, okay, right? See here, I rendered the social buttons. This function here basically reads this array value, and for each entry, it creates the social button. So I would, in theory, do something similar for credits. Such as myself and logo design, which I assume is going to be digital graphics. I believe they and my clients are in contact and working things out. I'll have to double check on that. I was gonna write Field Lancer Joe. Yeah, that would be an interesting job title. Graphics design URL. And of course, we could do other things like also include a link for graphics and there's such finery. Make it all nice and dynamic. Well, that's an interesting point to make. I think when I first started out, I saw it a lot, and you still see it every now and then, especially by I guess the term is rookie developers, because they are. There's link, label, okay. And to try and make everything nice and configurable and dynamic. And you remember what I said earlier about being clever? That's the sort of thing that I've seen trip up too many people. You try and make a solution for everything to handle every possible case, and well, one, it becomes impossible to maintain, and two, it isn't suitable for what you were supposed to be solving. And three, when you need to change it, it turns out you didn't actually envision every possible solution. Shocking, I know. So that's why I go with the whole 80-20 solution approach. Get 80% of it working. If you find yourself repeating things a lot, it's like, okay, alright. Then it might be worthwhile to where did I pull this out? There we go. Okay. Then it might be worthwhile to re-engineer and get clever. I think it really boils down to when you actually have a problem, it might be worthwhile to be clever. But if you try to be clever in anticipation of a problem, that's when things get a little bit less optimal. Try that sort of thing. But then again, if that's one of your strengths, and I wholeheartedly recommend that you do it. If you are so fortunate. But Freelancer Joe ain't one of them. So I just try and do it the honest, not the honest way. I mean, you still want to be smart about things. Part of being smart is also knowing when not to be clever. And my formatting is Olaf, of course. And let's see, that is... Oh, see, you know, I bothered to do that, and yet I did not do it right. CFG, bottom bar. But yeah, I mean, you see all these other values, all these values that can just change. I mean, it's exactly the. Should I have called it that? Tell me. Okay. Right. Which case to use? Not site label, copyright year. What is this? This is me. Moi, myself. I'm just double checking. And we got address 1, address 2, le phone, and address 3. Now, in theory, if it works, well, first it will come up and refresh. That'd be good. And then other than that, we shouldn't see a difference. Alright, that worked. And it looks like, okay, so it is see a difference. The difference is I didn't give myself credit. Okay. You see? It's always these minor things. This is also a reason why I like to do things in small chunks and verify. Okay, there we go. So like, okay, well that's great, Joe, but you know, what if you change the value? Well, in this case, web application by the awesome Freelancer Joe. And there we go, web application by the awesome Freelancer Joe. But I'm a humble man. Well, humble compared to what I could be. Alright, so let me see. So we're doing pretty good on time. I got about 10 more minutes left for this video. But I have to remember to check stuff in. Oh, you know what I think I recall? Yeah, that bad boy right there. Actually, I'm not sure when it's off. Although, since I'm not really sure what should go there. No. Info, templates, stuff, no, contact. Well, you could have a form here. Yeah, form will take more than that. Login. I don't have a placeholder for this. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. Let's go ahead and start that. Okay, so right now I am just. Oh, no. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. Alright, so this privacy and information page. I mean, useful information, of course, but it's generally not the sort of thing that you want taking up this kind of real estate. Yeah, it's basically, well, most people treat it as legalese and they'll just completely ignore it. So it would probably be better, instead of having it up there, to basically have it as part of the footer. Kind of like, user agreement, terms of service thing. I mean, you want it available on each page, but you don't want it taking up too much space. I imagine, a person comes to this page, they're looking for the school, or they're already a client and they're looking for specific things. So I think what I want, I basically want the same functionality that happens here, but I want it down here. However, I don't want it as a big old ginormous button. So let's take a look. Ooh, I hope I can fit it in time. Let's take a look at what the top bar does. So, like the social links in the bottom bar, it uses that configuration file. It generates a bunch of buttons that, when clicked, it does a transition. First of all, bottom bar does not have this nasty. The bottom bar is included in each of the views. In each of the views, I would have to add the function and pass it through. And that's just really annoying. So the other option is just to copy the relevant part of the function into bottom bar itself. Caveat being, if I actually change how I do these transitions, then I have to remember that I do it in most places. You know what? I might not even need to go that far. Okay. Alright. Oh, no. Okay, I'm running a little too short on time, I think. It would take me probably 10 to 15 minutes. So I don't think I'll be able to fit it in time. I think all this time I'm thinking about doing it, I would probably be, it would probably take me that long just to finish saying the damn thing. Saying what I was trying to say. Well, so I'm going to define the function that gets called on the click. Said function, basically the same as this navigation click. said, I mean, we don't need the key. That's just debugging. We're not doing that. And all we really got to do is we'll go ahead and do this push. We don't have to check for anything because it's going to be linked to that. And that's all we really need for this function. This will basically change the page, and this will update the application state. Do I have route keys? And I don't have route keys. See, that's the kind of thing that I never forget. Alright, route keys is a constant, which goes presumably after the style. But bottom bars here, we go up one, we're in container, we go up another one, we're at components. I just go, no, that should be the same wall. So this stop props on transition. This is just the validator. Yeah, don't get me started on why some things are validated and some things are required. Don't care about that. We do the dispatch. And right now I just want to see if it comes up. I still actually have to define the link. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Alright, quickest. What is the quickest way if I can kind of define this? Unfortunately, I don't have a quick way. I only have the correct way. The correct way. Well, I'm doing that a lot today. All right. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'll go ahead and add that in there, and after the video ends, then I'll probably go ahead and add in the text fields for the contact form, not the actual logic, I think, but just the fields. But naturally, and I forgot to do this yesterday when I finished things up, but you want to back it up or check it in. I mean, and ideally, you'd have unit tests and a continual build process and blah, 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 blah. Alright, so we're checked in. Alright, well, that's it for today. I hope you managed to stay awake. Thank you for joining me. I'm probably not going to bother with the boilerplate about liking and subscribing. I assume if you're watching this video on YouTube, you know what to do. Never underestimate the intelligence of your audience, if you have one. Anyway, so thanks for joining me. I will catch you later. Take care. God bless.